Hello there, welcome to my fourth match of Season 71 of the Dominion League. Playing a bit since we last played. Always good to play her. I don't know how many seasons. Smith took a break from the league. Promoted out of B last season, so. And I did too. Okay. So we got gains are fairly limited. So our actions. There's a lot of VP in the form of groundskeeper and a lot of things you can buy with the groundskeeper. So that's a pretty big deal, I'd say. Really just a question of, can you play your groundskeeper, buy a couple things, buy some farms as you win the groundskeeper split, I guess. Try to buy these two cards and then this card while playing a lot of these. I hit the double 5, which is a big deal. VRSmith gets the collision that puts doesn't draw any more estates though, which is pretty unlucky. But obviously a bit ahead on the trashing here. So not necessarily in a way that's going to mean he's ahead, just because of the nature of this board. Yeah. I think I'll do one more lab and then I'm going to start on the groundskeepers, I think. This can't miss 5, right? Draws 2 coppers, it hits 5. It draws a salvager, it hits 5. It draws a silver, it hits 5. 2. Two non-money producing things in here that it could stop on. It's gonna be a weird one. Ultimately, you just don't go anywhere. Too exciting. You just buy up these groundskeepers while doing a little trashing. I think it's got to outscore the deck that maybe builds to being able to buy provinces, like double province or something. Which is hard to fuel anyway. I don't know if we're gonna ever make it to. I mean, it's gonna have to involve buying farms. I wonder if VRSmith can like ironworks silver while buying grounds over here. I don't know which like turn 3 is. I mean that VRSmith got on the turn 3 is pretty huge rather than say the turn 4. Like if this is like a $3 hand into this hand, that's a little different. 3 or even maybe it couldn't be a $2 hand, but no. $3 or $4 hand into that, it looks a little different. I'm realizing now VRSmith probably didn't draw no more estates on this. They probably just chose to keep the estates for the purposes of salvaging them. I don't know how much that matters. Certainly you probably could trash one, but it can help, it can harm, it kind of depends on your reshuffle. Oh yeah, there is the ironworks thing. I did forget about that. Which I guess gives you a like a border guard pile out. I guess mostly it just gives you a lot of gives you some pile control. Doesn't necessarily, it gives you some salvager fuel, I guess. It's a little weird because it's not like there's another, it's not really easy to 3 pile with it necessarily. And I guess you could do the ironworks, the salvagers in the border guard. It's probably possible. I mean, you may not have a lead when you're doing that, I guess. And in the meantime, there are some hands where it could hurt you, I guess. I don't know. This is slightly unfortunate. Is the other card a border guard? Okay. So Rush can net you some buys. That's kind of nice. Thing about going so heavy on the ironworks is you can't exactly stop when you want to stop doing it. Like you have to, I mean, I guess you can, but they gum up your draw. Like if you're not gaining cards with it on a turn, the turn could end up quite a bit worse. Potentially. I don't know. Like, what does the next turn with these look like? I guess you just cantrip on the salvagers and hope people score enough. I really know. Does certainly give you more 3-pile control for the next turn. But you do have to like run those 2 piles to move on it. And otherwise you're just sitting there. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm worried I will lose. Just this turn. A footpad would kind of be pretty okay now. A rushed footpad wouldn't be terrible. I don't know how much money VRSmith has if you salvage a 4. I don't know if that gets you double 5. I mean, it would get you enough, I guess, to do the rush footpad, I think. I mean, certainly it does. There's a silver and a copper. There's at least a silver and a copper. I guess there must be 3 silvers and a copper. So you get to 9, I guess, is nice. And which would be pretty good. I think I could be miscounting. I could have trashed 2 coppers, I guess. I guess if I can survive the next turn, it's okay for me. There's no way to... Well, there probably is a rush. Rush the salvagers can kind of save you a little money. Maybe get you to a... Can you draw enough to do... Well, I should just play these first. I don't know why I'm doing it like this. Do we try to find the labs? Like if I go down to 4, I mean, VRSmith maybe can do the estates anyway. I kind of don't know if the money's there though. Like the money slash the hand size at the end of it all. I do have 9. I do have the extra groundskeeper, which is nice. What if I just triple estate with, can I do that? If I salvage estate, play 5 coppers, that's 7. Rush a salvager. That's so expensive. I would trash, I would have 7, and then I would be 6. Be up to 4. There's only 2 estates. It doesn't even like net an estate. It's only 2 estates at the end. I could buy a province. I mean, 5 times 2, I mean, 15 a win, but I don't think you have enough money to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know what this is gonna look like. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's not that good. I guess if you can get 4 estates, you win. I don't really know what the duchy is doing. Does your hand size stay big enough for this to work? Probably. Don't you have to rush it? I think you have to rush multiples of them. Oh, that alone is already enough? Well, that's the real problem. I didn't trash an estate. I just didn't. I thought the extra groundskeeper points were enough. They were not. So that's lesson number 1 is count. I don't know if I have an out. I mean, VRSmith can always, I mean, what is province? Province by itself, does that score a little more? That's 9 points versus 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's less. So maybe just checkmate. VRSmith can always 3-pile there. Interesting. We just toast. I did not notice the Ironworks footpad thing until VRSmith was doing it. There may have been a turn for me to put one in. I don't think it was. Maybe it was technically possible to fail to draw that other groundskeeper, because she had to discard it at one point. Probably super unlikely. I don't know that there were ever enough stop. I mean, because you're adding the salvage, the ironworks, or some. You could always have, like, if you'd drawn more ironworks, you could always just play those until you get, play them to gain infirmaries or whatever until you can't. Like, if that was what you're stopping on, you'd have to draw dead on salvagers. Which I don't know that there was ever going to be enough of. I don't think. No, is Fool's Gold worth it? Probably not. You have to imagine it's probably more in the just displace power, and you have to get your villages in a kind of weird way, but just wheelwright envoy experiment displace weaver sacrifice stuff. I have to imagine is probably just quite a bit faster than adding any stop cards like the Fool's Golds. 5-2 is okay though. I don't think it's super bad or anything. Kind of depends, but it should be okay. Will you get the wheelwright now? There are. You do. Well, this sucks. This sucks really bad. This VRSmith is getting the experiment cycling. No good. You can do the Weaver wheelwright. I mean, you can get a lot of the 3s and 4s. Clearly. It's just okay. It was fine. It would have been nice to maybe draw one fewer experiment on the reshuffle if I was, cheesing, but that's a bit of a first world problem. I at least move the deck some. Yeah, this looks nice. I mean, you don't thin something, which isn't maybe ideal, but well, we've missed the This is a fun kingdom. This is a neat kingdom. It's very, very nice. Excuse me. This does just... Oh, no, let me think about this. Let's think about this. I mean, you at the very least want to go ahead and... Oh, right. I was counting 8. I was over counting this. I mean, at the bare minimum, you want to go ahead and play the wheelwright. Gets you an extra experiment. I don't know where the trashing is. I think I'm thinner. It's like 4 to 3 cards removed. They do have the Weaver already, though. I'm confident my turn was not played optimally. That's one thing I feel very certain of. Whatever optimal means, but nobody knows. I mean, somebody knows. Which cards do we want? is unfortunately a little wheel spinny. Lean the displace. Doesn't really have a terminal to play. You could get there. The old cartographer. Hmm. I'm afraid of this card. Well, the cartographer's top deck, which is kind of not where you want it. You kind of want to put it deeper, but whatever. You know, I'm not in love with this play, but it's done. One way or the other. A nice thing is that VRSmith can't add more wheelwrights very easily. I mean, this turn can't add more wheelwrights, period. So, do like that part. The envoys, of course, are me begging to have some sadness. There aren't like a whole lot of awful draws. There are some. It might have been okay for me to buy a car talk. I don't know. Can I buy a province, I wonder? I don't know. I guess it's not really a 3-pile threat yet. It's hard to get through these piles without. I mean, the nice thing about the province then is that you can then gain 5, so that's okay. Certainly all right thing. Discard the Weaver. They didn't fall for it. I thought for sure would, but didn't. There's still an envoy in here somewhere. Somewhere. I'm getting pretty firmly in the if you don't win now, you're gonna lose next turn level of gaining stuff. Which is a little problematic. And we're like pretty solidly in the it's not gonna work category here. But is there any way to do anything for it? Oh my gosh. And we die immediately. So we bottom decked envoy. Well, this was foolish. You have to assume there'll be a pretty easy pile out here. We also didn't really score very much. I should have just done the envoy, but whatever, it's done now. Probably not free for VRSmith. It might be free. kind of hard to do it and keep the experiments in deck. There is that, or whatever small thing that's worth. But probably still doable. I mean, especially if you can save your cartographer for a really juicy spot where it hits several weavers, that's going to make a big difference. Possibly even a huge difference. Probably can't buy province again. That was probably off the back of a sacrifice. I mean, without doing some other thing. Oh. Okay. Still have to score somehow. Or enough. Which of these is the sacrifice target? Which is more valuable? Weaver's like estate points, maybe? Are estates really in the cards? We can't do 8, can we? We probably need the displays. Okay. How do we score enough points while doing the other things? You can get a duchy, that's not so hard. Maybe 2 duchies isn't so hard. And some estates. But we don't find the envoy. Cartar, what was discarded? An experiment? Need another one of these. Oh boy. I wonder if there was a displace weaver trick somewhere in there. That wouldn't have surprised me. A bunch of sacrifices in here. How many cards are in here? Oh, this is not gonna work. So this was 3 cards are in the discard. I haven't shuffled yet. We saw another Weaver. It maybe works. I mean, if we see all 4 Weavers, I would say it definitely works, but that was unlikely. So there's an experiment. There's 4 cards in the discard. 2 sacrifices, a duchy experiment. Is the duchy any good to me in any way? Not really. I guess we can make a sacrifice out of it. I would take a tie if we could get that. That seems incredibly unlikely. What have we got? There's just nothing here. It's just like, just not a turn. There probably is a win. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if there's a win, but killing the displaced really hurt. Maybe if you see the invoice sooner, there's like a shot. Because we couldn't get to province. I mean, I guess I can put an experiment in the pile. And do it that way. This is just so useless. This also doesn't. You just want 1 silver. Guess you can gain the fool's golds. How many fool's golds can you get? 2, 3? You could get 3. You can't draw 3, so let's not worry about that. Yeah, this is awful. This is gonna be so trivial. Maybe they died. I don't know. It's so terrible. You have to hit just nothing to make this work. Like if this hits any weavers, it's basically over. Did whiff on that, I guess. But still, you can just draw into the wheelwrights playing it and get a couple that way. I don't know. It's just, yeah. You leave him the experiment. Kill a wheelwright? If you have $2, it's over, which I assume they do. Yeah. I don't know. I think the turn before my last turn is the one I probably need to spend would have to spend more time thinking about. Because that one was kind of rough. What are you doing here? I mean, it's another experiment board where experiment is the bulk of the There's experiment procession. That's pretty good. Otherwise, not a whole lot going on. I mean, obviously the procession stuff is crazy enough as is. I mean, here I'll Coastal Haven one of these and buy a temple. I don't know what else to do. It's really fine. Like, as an opening, it's totally fine. It looks pretty similar to the other things you'd be doing. I mean, it's not totally true because you just be buying experiment and temple and saving an estate, which is much better than what I'm going to do. But I'm going to tell myself it's about the same because it's at least not terrible. It's not good, though. I wonder if I had a better angle. I don't know. There were also some bad, like, experiment management as far as, like, I would end with an odd. I would end with an odd number of. I guess you could save the temple, or you can either hope you draw it. I mean, I guess if you don't draw it, you can. It doesn't really change the cycling all that much, does it? It's more like, how likely are you to have to use favors to do what you want to do? Also versus like what you can buy here. I don't think I want to rotate. There's something to being the only one with the town crier, but unless I thought I was going to buy one right now, but I don't think I'm going to. This is probably worse. I mean, you can save the temple for the next turn and do the. There's 3 coppers. You just cannot trash a copper and buy the procession and the experiment. Not possible. So. Well, it would have been if I had done the town crier thing, I guess. Yeah, that would have been. Perhaps better. Please don't. Well, GG's. I'd have to go back and check the coin line for town crier. It may have been a little better. We're pretty well. There's also horse procession stuff. We're pretty well dead in the water here. Or getting onto it anyway. So you get the hostelries. This may be a big horse run here. Just more possessions is also very, very. I'm going to have to play just the one experiment, and if I don't find a procession, I'm gonna have to haven it. This is very helpful. Do we put in the horses, more horses, and buy procession, or do we put in? Probably need the. I'm gonna die. I can't handle that. This is a really bad draw. it's not. There's like one out that's like not very likely at all. It's just a bad draw. The town crier was the bottom decked one, so we just top decked these 4 coppers. Which is, we get to use our last one of those for something. Which should you prefer removing, horses or experiments? Is there really much difference? Oh well, I think VRSmith got enough of the overdraw here. Probably gets through to doing the super big stuff. Like empty processions, just about. No, I was wrong. I'm a little bit of a negative Nancy, if you will. Alright. We're gonna do this. Maybe I will empty the procession. That would be okay by me. Okay. This is an awful, well, it's not. It's pretty awful. Just the timing of the draw is kind of awful. We have to save the town crier for, I mean, we could get a silver, but, oh, this is sad. Wait a minute. We got to think about it. Well, we would need to have thought about it back there, to be honest. I mean, if we find a horse, I guess you just try to find a horse. Then they'll be able to swoop in and get the temple points I worked so hard for. Maybe, probably. I guess nothing's free. There's some opportunity cost there, but. Just not looking good overall here. I mean, VRSmith does have stop cards, so you just got to believe in the power of trashing, I suppose. Sort of hard to actually convert this into like a good deck. I mean, I'm sure the piles can run, but you can do island. I mean, you can get. It's just when you blow up proc, you just get gestures. Like, who cares? I mean, if that's a turn, in turn, it might be okay, but it's not a very exciting use of the procs. Otherwise, we're just gonna run the procs down, run the hostelries down, and then maybe someone just goes to pile on something else, but it's not trivial. You can get the islands off those, which is nice. Potentially nice. I don't know if VRSmith must have stepped away. That or something has happened that I'm not aware of. Is blowing up the processions. Oh no, that's not proc. It's an island, interesting. Can proc island, which is kind of cute. My copper. Doesn't get the temple point. I guess that's something. I don't know. What this is gonna look like for me. What this ought to look like for me. Can always gain a lot of horses. I have 4 procs or 5 procs. I think I play them all here. 1, 2, 3, maybe just 4. That's not great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's a problem. We would have needed some kind of dud on the non-trashing hands or the low because of the low trashing, but since VRSmith drew anyway, it didn't. It's just not workable. Unless there's a super pile out I'm not aware of. I get to upgrade 4 things. One. I don't know. That isn't really the order I wanted that to happen in, but I should have done that guy first. Good proc. Well, I scored a little bit. I said before, proc only gets you jesters, which isn't a huge deal. Not that it's bad or anything. I would have killed to see it have an experiment flip on the Jester. That would have been really good. Even a hostelry would have been okay. We could have bought a town crier then. The 6 processions though is just gonna be tough. As the turns go on and on. It will be a little weird when the hostelries run. I mean, at that point, the game is over anyway. It has 3 horses. It's 1 procession play. These gesture plays I know for a fact are going to depress me. Copper flips are about the only good ones. I mean, a lot of them are, it's like you don't really know whether it's good or bad, but like, obviously this is bad. Now they just went on the experiment pile out. This is a load of... Oh, okay. I couldn't tell what it was. So now you just have the... You only need what? $12? I mean, you have it by a lot, right? Or are you short like $1? I mean, I guess you're short $1. So you can't actually outscore me getting 5 islands here. Like, you just can't. So if we don't die, we can do it. We actually have a really good shot at it now. So I whined about the gestures. I whined about the gestures because I thought VRSmith might end immediately. But as it was, the gestures really rescued me. And the second gesture didn't do anything for VRSmith because it was just, didn't use, I mean, I guess was used to buy prepare, but like, that wasn't that good. What's hasty, the wheelwright? There was like a good 2 you could think about it, but I guess here you're just gonna go with the witch. Witch looks a little better than Trickster, or quite a bit better than Trickster here. It's a Smithy Village thing. I'll just open witch, nothing. Wheelwright does look quite good here though. Well, I mean, hasty anything is usually pretty good. I don't know. I mean, it looks valuable to me anyway. You want all of these things. I guess it's always the classic wheelwright thing is like, without trashing, how soon are you willing to just not play something in order to get another copy of it, which can be a little hard. But hasty is going to help with that a little bit. But the decks are just going to be a mess. The Minstrel and Herald, the Minstrel can help the Herald move through this stuff. This is pretty bad. I mean, you really want to be buying a 3 or 4 now, but what can you do? Also, mostly because they are Enchantress. So this somehow ended up being a real bummer. Despite probably being the better opening. And this is awful because they ran it back immediately as well. So somehow this turned into the worst thing ever, despite me having a pretty good opening. Here we're gonna draw and try to hit. I mean, if they don't Enchantress us, we're just gonna draw and try to hit Villa, but like, honestly, Villa's pretty bad in the deck. We don't have very good odds of hitting 3 either. If they Enchantress us, we'll play the Witch and then play the Enchantress. With this, it's kind of hard to not want to try and give him a curse. Even though this is sad. We did get that amount of lucky. I mean, if we still have a shot at like winning the curse split pretty big, then that's still worth something. Not easy to deal with them here. And the points are very valuable. I don't know that that's going to happen, but probably thinking of doing a Villa, I would guess, but maybe not. I kind of want to do wheelwright here. That sucks. This all really sucks. And of course the wheelwright gets eaten up. And will basically every time. Probably ought to have played the witch. But I would have had to buy a Villa to do it. It wasn't like, well, this just sucks. This is probably the most brutal Enchantress luck I've ever had. That's probably, there's no way that's true, but like, it was pretty bad. That's good. Okay. It's fairly brutal. I'm gonna lose the curse split like at least 6-4, maybe more. Kind of have to do this. If this finds another witch, I will lose my mind. Okay. Well, 7-3 it is. Actually, it may be 8-2. Or wait, this is just 6 right now. 7-3 or 6-4. We can help speed it up a little bit. Wolfden. What do you do here? Trying the chapel skip. A new strat. You gotta experiment every now and again. This is a hard AI approach I'm gonna try. Known Dominion expert hard AI. VRSmith is intimidated by the hard AI threat, but does not ultimately elect to follow. And I say that that's her loss. I'm gonna fly like an eagle. I guess I don't buy a second Tanuki yet. Deck has to be like big enough so that you actually see the two of them. Well, let me think. I guess if you this next hand Guess you can buy enough stuff that it just works. Maybe you can get the Noble's library stuff going fast enough with Workshop. Certainly possible. I wonder if I do silvers or if I do 4s to get golds. I'm also just going to have a lot here anyway. 3 coppers. I mean, I'm going to have 6 in hand. I've got big plans. Plans are huge. Off the charts. You have to be able to like get a library too. Your VRSmith. Maybe you can play enough Cardinals to like hurt me. I don't know. That seems kind of unlikely. How many churches do I have? I have 3 churches. Crazy. Does get the library. How do we move through this? How do we play the Tanuki? What can we play the Tanuki on that's like useful? We probably need another province, or not another province. We probably need another. I mean, we could try and get a couple nobles in a library. Not insane. kind of needed to be able to like buy a gold and, well, I just can't fuel this as aggressively as I'm gonna want to. Maybe one nobles would have been good. We'll find out. What do I have set aside? Because we don't hit. Well, we can. Yeah, we can buy an actually. Does what I'm doing make any sense at all? I have also just one gold. We're gonna need to kill that before. The gold is the bottom deck. This play makes no sense. Right now I have 2 animal fairs. This part was kind of unfortunate. Not gonna lie. It's okay. I think this is probably too late. You could have played what I did in transition into something else. That was maybe okay. That would have been maybe okay. But this way is not going to work. Maybe if we have some stuff shifted around, there's like an outside shot, but we're going to score a little bit here. I'm going to lose the last church. Who is that? I must only have 1 animal fair. 1 gold, 1 animal fair. Three nobles, but 1. So 6, but minus 6. 1 library, 1 animal fair, 1 haven. I guess. Oh, 1 silver. It is kind of hard if you play with the 1 library. You can have to use up some of your resources. Not that it's like kills you or anything, but I think what's going to be bad is I'm just going to end up with not a very wolfed in friendly deck in some ways. It's like I can probably end the game in 4 turns, but I'm not going to actually have that many points. On the other hand, this is not a great duchy holding deck, really. So we'll see. It would be kind of be an okay time to hit a cardinal, actually. So you have to make up those points too, so. Returns. I'm going to score 9 this turn. I think next turn probably VRSmith just wins. Probably has time to get the duchies anyway. Well, it's now or never. The Haven's an easy 3 points. I don't know if there's any other uniques. Well, the province, right? So the province is 3 points, so that's 22 already. So as long as you can gain a single haven and buy a province, you just win. So I mean, that's not hard. I don't know if they'll actually get enough to do like a duchy, but well, I want to say it was maybe feasible, but I don't know. It looked feasible to me, but maybe VRSmith had some really bad draws. I was missing like turning golden. Like if I could have gotten the unique gone, then that is a pretty hard. I don't know if there's a win there to get enough duchies to pass me with 3 more points. I've been having a lot of 5-2s. This is the good form of the goat 5-2. That's nice. Marshland, Bandit 4. Okay, so probably not Wayfarer stuff, or not the silver part anyway. Market is not actually a crazy opening here, but is it better than plot? Probably. Probably not. It's not outrageous though. I mean, Pixie's really good. It lets you buy more Pixies. And like Pixie, I mean, it just plays really nice with like the Wayfarer stuff here. To be honest, so not crazy thinking about it, doing it. Just something. Basically just won a bunch of fairs. I guess a monkey is quite good. Or monkey their turn. I'm gonna try the market. Could be super wrong. This has the opportunity for the classic monkey sword situation everybody loves, everybody's favorite. The market into the monkey is not so great at this point. I had already decided, so I didn't want to decide again. We're not getting too much, hurt too much on that anyway. Not a very good boon. Guess we pop it. Let's try and play the monkey. So, do we want... We have buy, so we can... potentially still get a monkey in play. Few different ways, really. Stupid sword is gonna come out. You already know. We have to hit. That didn't happen. Well, we're not playing a monkey here. Obviously I could have done that quite a bit differently. I guess the sword isn't like massive here. Depending on what you're, just because the Wayfarer stuff isn't all that good. I mean, you can play it after your sack of loots at the very least, which is nice. I could have played the Wayfarer first, gained the silver, and then bought the villa and gone on, and that would have been, I mean, I think I still would have been able to afford the sack of loot, but I would just have a silver. Like, I had to find the market at the start of that turn to be able to do the like villa monkey thing, which wasn't really all that likely anyway. I'm pretty well dead again, which is, I mean, you could get sword. Could get sword. You just have to gain a lot of cards to go anywhere. And then they're just deck drawn. Like, probably VRSmith can like sack of loot, villa, gain, and play all of that. Like, probably has $10 in hand. What, I don't know what loot they got. Oh, they already got sword. Okay. You can tell how much I'm paying attention to this game. Is the thing I'm talking about constantly happens and I don't even see it. So that I love. I love that for me. So they have a sword. Maybe they're just going for the single villa here. I was thinking you would go for, maybe you don't have the money for, oh yeah, that's what they are doing. Second jewels, everyone loves jewels. I think this is over too. We're gonna demote this season. I think it's more or less guaranteed with this 5-1. But I think I will try and come back and play again. I don't wanna. You just hate to like not make some effort to play it out. Or to keep playing. I just don't like to end. There's always a chance of stopping playing Dominion, but this was a sad draw. I just don't like excuse me. I just don't like the idea of starting that way. I should have played the hammer first. I don't know why I'm asking for this. It's not really super. I guess you just push, like, you just put payload in, and I guess hope you can like do something on a turn. That's a pile out before they can, but it's very unlikely. I mean, it's what it is it's extremely likely that VRSmith can empty the pixies and the villas this turn. Right? That's only 24, well, $30, but you get to reuse a lot of it. You get to reuse probably all of the pixies. And then you get to use Villa to, like, I get monkeyed up, and then you use Villa to play the sword after you do all your buys. Like, it's just, you can't win. I was gonna lose anyway. Like, I was losing if VRSmith doesn't have sword. But I could like delude myself into thinking there's a game. But after VRSmith does the buys and then buys a villa and then plays a sword to take me down to nothing, it's just completely unworkable. And maybe they buy one more card after that. If they want to, they don't even have to. I don't know that my luck was super bad I mean, most of the games were at least a little close. That one Enchantress game was brutal. Some of the splits were pretty bad. The 5-2 on the procession board was pretty bad. I don't know. The Weaver one, I think I probably had shots still if I play a turn or two differently. For all I know, there was a pile out that I just failed to get to. What else was? That Tanuki thing, that was not as bad as maybe it looked. IMO. But people may disagree. I think it was at least competitive with what it was being played against. I mean, what would have needed to happen as far as like draws? Like, I would just need VRSmith to be one turn slower. So the question is, was VRSmith like sitting on the like faster side or the slower side of what she was doing, like on average? Because I just need one turn. And then on my draws were actually pretty good at the start. Well, to be fair, the way I opened it and played it, there wasn't a lot of variance in what could happen. I think there was maybe a shuffle where there was like a chance of me getting rid of more of the uniques, like lose the gold, but I don't know. At the end there, I had one gold. I had no animal fairs, I think. So it was like I couldn't really be much more than that. Right? I had 27. I had 5 provinces and -3. So you couldn't really ask for something too much better than that, as far as that goes. I guess, does VRSmith have enough to win here? I don't know why they're doing that this way, where they're going to maybe buy some stuff and give me draw. I think that's probably a mistake. but I guess 2 provinces is like, okay. So can I pile out anything? Results in a victory. Folks are wondering. Let's play this. I don't really have the plus action right now. Well, that is not what you want to see. That one's okay. Like, what would it be? I can get a lot of silvers, I just can't use them. Like Villa, Pixie, Archland. I can get the silvers. I can use them, but they don't do all that much for me. Where's Tomb when you need it? There's still another villa in here. I have a lot of overdraw. It's just whether the silvers kind of make up for the other garbage. Right? This is the problem. Huh. Well, how do we want to do this? I should have kept a treasure. I guess I don't have the buys period. You know, I was out here believing in myself, but I would have needed like forest and earths to even get kind of close. I guess. Like, what am I doing? All right. Yeah. Not great, but they were fun, pretty fun kingdoms. I liked those kingdoms overall. They were nice. Thanks for watching. I'm going to play Your Kamome on Saturday. And then I will plan to play next season. It'll be a little while because of the tournament gap, but play next season in B, and we'll see how we can do. Thank you for watching as always, and have a good night.